Hey, everyone. Hello, hello in here, hello in there. I'll wait just a little bit as I'm at my Airbnb with this cute mug, Retro Haven, complete with Granny Square quilt. It's been a while since I've seen one of those. Although, hmm, I think a friend of mine was making Granny Squares. So good to be here together with you as always at a little different time this Sunday, May 5th, 2024, for those of you who are watching maybe at a later time. My name is Alex, and we're here together on Sun and Moon Yoga Studios channel. And we're here to remind ourselves of who we are. So today, and this roughly half hour, we practice together because it's surprisingly hard to remember who we actually are, who we are. As my teacher this weekend has been quoting this Zen phrase, who we are before our parents were born. So before we have stories and experiences and memories and dreams and hopes and pains and sufferings and joys, that essence of ourselves. So we'll get grounded, super important. I'll introduce a little bit of a practice of inquiry and we'll do a little movement and we'll do a little stillness and sitting. So first, it's very helpful to find ourselves right in the now moment, which is actually beyond time, beyond really not even located in space, but we do locate ourselves right here. Maybe space is here and here in time, but in the now. But there's no present, there's no past. It's just right here. And this is where stories can fall away, the stories that are in our mind as we feel into our body and feel where we are on this earth. And that feel is linked with this gravitational field pulling us down. Something we can absolute know with absolute certainty is that the ground is here for us. And so I often refer to this centering as arriving, as consciously arriving. And my teacher Russell, who I'm studying with this weekend, might call it embodied arriving. Their teachings together are called the embodied life. And so it's always including the body, as yoga does. So as we feel to the body, you might be noticing things like how your shoulders are positioned and that you've got options. And that's happening in time. The time is passing by and you feel perhaps the holding, the lifting of the shoulders slightly, and you recognize there's a possibility of releasing down into gravity and letting ourselves be supported by the earth that we absolutely can feel right here. We notice that we are breathing, and as you focus on the breath, see if you cannot lose the feel of the body. So, in order to do that, Instead of focusing your attention, let your attention, this aperture, stay open so that we're still feeling the body in space and right here on this place, but we're also feeling breathing, this life force coming in, creating shape, creating feeling tones inside, and then releasing. Notice that perhaps you can feel both of those at the same time, body and breath. Body in this space and gravity on the ground. I'm going to swing back to the gravity ground piece, even as the breath helps us to also note the partner of gravity is levity, this buoyancy allows us a feel of lifting upward. And in fact, let's take a movement. Let's shift our position. I'm going to walk back so you can see me standing. And you could do all this from a seated position, lying down, standing, if you choose. We again find our ground, maybe feet a little bit apart. And perhaps you're noticing it might be a little quicker coming in and just coming to the now, coming to this vertical axis of our existence as opposed to the horizontal, which is time and change and tasks and planning and all that. And the vertical is just right here. And let's take our arms, become conscious of your hands at the same time as you're conscious of your feet, at the same time as you're conscious of your breath, and begin to sweep the arms through space upward. So now encompassing the space around us, and then bring the arms back down. Just a simple movement. You've done it many, many times, whether you practice yoga or not, or Tai Chi or Qigong. Arms can come straight up in front of you and up, and then back down. You might be pairing it with the breath, in breathing as you take the arms up, or the opposite. And I'm going to just give you a free form to just take the arms. You might turn a little in one direction, you might look up, and just to keep sensing the vertical axis, the feet on the ground, the spine. If you're sitting, you still can feel this. If you're lying down, you're on the horizontal, but think of your body then as the vertical. So whatever orientation we can come into our body to find that vertical, and then pairing it, especially with gravity, can be super helpful in shifting our energy, shifting our thinking, shifting our feeling. Okay, after those few movements, just come back to standing, sensing the way Earth is here for us, sensing that perhaps there's already a shift in how you feel the thought energy, your heart energy, feeling energy. Even perhaps your body feels different, of course. Could be just very small. And another piece of this, I'm going to have us bring our hands, one hand to the lower belly, to the lower dantian, below the navel, above the pubic bone, and the other back hand, the back of the hand to the sacrum. So this is one hand in front, one in back. This is holding our movement center, this lower part of the body, connection of legs, hips, spine, a lot of organs down in the lower abdomen here. And simply roll the pelvis forward as if there's a golden ball in the middle here and roll it back. You can let your knees bend a little bit so we're not locked. And just rolling your very familiar action from our movement practices. Breathing, again, aware of breath, aware of body and gravity, ground, levity, and aware of the space around and sound, that we're always interacting with the environment around us. And that again comes into horizontal time in a sense, but even if we stop into this moment, the fraction of a moment, we're still in space. We're still located somewhere and we're still relating to the space. And go ahead and come to a stop, feeling ground, gravity, levity, breath, space around. Lift the arms upward again, your arms. Bring the arms back down. And two more times at your own pace, perhaps right at center, perhaps kind of going out diagonally or twisting a little bit. Especially attending to this vertical dimension, out of time, right here, right now. Pause again and just notice what you're sensing, feeling. And let's come back to our sitting position or just come to sit. And if you've chosen a different position, that's fine. So it's likely that the way you feel, your mind, your emotions, your heart has shifted a little bit since we've begun this practice together. And let's notice that we're noticing. I titled this practice today for the thumbnail, Hello in There, the title of a song by John Prine. And this is very useful for befriending ourselves more, for perhaps changing some of the patterning in ourself. So I will invite you during our sitting to, and let's give a little practice to it. We can just put a hand on your heart. It could be both hands. And if you find that you'd like to customize this differently for yourself, please go ahead and do so. So, hello in there. Just as you're greeting a friend, just try checking in. What's new here today? What's important? What's hurting? What's joyful? What's what would like to be expressed? And as something might arise, listen to what it is, entertain it. And in that listening, you may notice if you're judging, if you're praising, if you're wanting something to change, if you're wanting, if you're in how you're interacting with it. And while that's all fine, more and more we can practice to just be the space, be the listening presence, the witnessing or notice that we can be that and engage in that, to simply listen, and perhaps something like, tell me more, and what else is underneath there. And so this listening is not just for the language part of it, the verbal, the thinking part, but for the, and this is very important, very, very important, for the feeling tone of it. And this is where our body is so important, in feeling ourselves in space and feeling the tensions, the textures, the energies, the warmth, the cool that are shifting. These are huge pieces that want to be seen, heard. They're in there, they're felt often, but can they be seen and heard and witnessed? Or as we've coined, witnessed, so that they know that they're being with. And so during our meditation practice, oh, let me backtrack. So just for yourself, what is in a phrase, what is it that's speaking or saying? Or it might be that you, as I've shared in the last few weeks, it might be a gesture that comes to mind. Sometimes for me, it's been something like a clench or a or a so so gesture can be very important. Even facial expressions, part of that, a whole body expressions. And what is it that's being expressed? And if words come, say them out loud to hear, is this true? Is this exactly what's going on here? Or is there something more accurate? These parts of us want to be known for their truest beingness. And so you may notice something shifts when you give that hello in there attention, like to a dear one, which is a dear part of yourself, but not all of yourself. So that is so key, that when we do this practice of saying hello in there, or, oh, dear one, tell me what's on your mind, tell me what's in your body, tell me what's in your cells, tell me what these cells are experiencing. It also informs us that those experiences are not the whole of us. And this can be very freeing. It's very freeing in that, so oftentimes the cellular gripping memory tension can start to unwind simply because of being fully witnessed, not just in their tension way, but in their wholeness, not just in the words, but in the feeling, the combination of words, body feeling, heart feeling. And very importantly, we get to notice that we are not that smallness of that particular experience, that is only a part of who we are. So, as we sit in meditation, if something comes up that is distracting, is painful, is something that you want to push away, but also something that's positive, maybe you just get a positive, a joyful memory. It's very similar to that practice of just labeling it, but instead, hello there, and sort of slow it down, which again comes close to some of what I'm learning in dog training, to slow down and really see how my dog's ears are shifting, or his shoulders, or how the whole body might be a little more tense rather than relaxed. These parts want to be seen and heard. So let's sit for about 8 minutes. Make any adjustments you need. Make any last movements before we commit to stillness. Enjoy your journey. And bring in all these same elements that help you be right here in the now. Ground, breath, sound, and space around. Question you can ask yourself from time to time: is there anything that's not all right right here and now? And then if something comes up that's not all right, and say hello to it and linger with it. Be with it. And be with the next thing and the next. At the same time, noticing that unchanging, witnessing presence that you are. Borrowing another mini teaching from Russell yesterday, our brain will secrete thoughts just like the stomach secretes acids, the heart pumps blood, thoughts will come. They are not a problem. Find yourself lost in thought, can recommit to the ground, even place your hands palms down on your legs or touch the ground with your hands. If you find yourself a little too sleepy or and not here, in a sense, attend to your breathing and let the buoyancy lift you up, open to inspiration in the upward direction, or a little of both. Another handful of breaths together in this still, neutral place. And one more time before we complete our practice, just say hello in there to whatever is present right here now. You can also put your hand again on your heart, belly, or head. Hello in there. See what wants to be said, and perhaps there's not much. You don't have to bake something up. Perhaps there's something good. Perhaps there's something troubling. And let it know you're with it for a few more breaths. Thank you for joining me and for being willing to come to this practice that brings us to that we remind ourselves how to come over and over to this neutral place, to this place right here that is always available, but and it is outside of time, experiences, um, memories, patterns, and it's the place in us that helps us to see that we're safe, helps us to see our true essence, and to be the space that welcomes what needs to be seen, what needs to be unraveled. And this in turn will create more freedom for next steps, for change, um, for growth, evolution. Thank you so much for joining me, and so much gratitude as a piece of this practice, a gratitude for you being here with me and for these practices and for my teachers that have are showing me the way over and over, still in process. Thank you so much. Ciao, ciao. See you next time. And do check out sunandmoonstudio.com for ways to connect and practice together.